game day ritual. Run the ball like Mitchell, or you can be like Reynolds and Skiffle. Give it a Johnston and he'll get triple. Pass it to Cleary, you know he'll run the pitch. Score points like Jabojevic, I'm game day fit, no need to switch. Cooking up like Cookie Man's in the kitchen. Who's that on the wing? It's Sivo. Score, try and do the Guffrino. Don't get too rowdy or too keen or you'll end up like Hasentino. Get a 40-20 like BCE. Run the ball like hectic cheese. Support runner, that's Pappenhausen, but I still got Teddy at the SCG.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Final Siren podcast. Thank you for everyone who's going to be joining us in today. We're just going to be giving our tips, and it will be a pretty quick video, this one. Not too much news up and about that wasn't recorded on Monday. If anything comes to mind, I'll make sure to mention it. But Faraz, how you doing tonight, mate?
Yeah, once again, not too bad. Just a few stuff going on right now, but tomorrow another round starts, and hopefully a few more upsets to follow.
Yeah, definitely. Now we'll move into the Thursday night game. Seagulls versus Eels tomorrow night. Now I don't have any real stats for this game or anything like that, but for us, who's your tip? And mate, if you want to give a margin and anytime try score as well, just talk us through it.
Well, yeah, this is going to be a cracking game. Like, no matter the form of these two teams, Manly always take on Parramatta in high-quality matches. Both sides have a rivalry against each other, pretty sure. Yeah, look, this is an interesting one for me. Eels are currently 0-2. If they go 0-3, their season is probably... It's a bit too harsh, but their season could be a bit of a jeopardy, especially with the draw they've come up in the next few weeks. Manly, on the other hand, they've only played one game. It looked pretty convincing against the Bulldogs, but to be honest, they did get some help. I'm not saying they like Bulldogs got rolled or anything, but they did get some help with the Simbin advantage. And they haven't really played anyone, so they're off a week. So it could either distract the momentum, or like they could be fresh off another week off with Tommy Turbo resting his knee injury. So it's a tough one, man. I honestly don't know who to tip yet, but I'm actually going to go with Manly. I was actually considering to tip Parramatta because of the 0-2 record, something. But you know what? Screw it. I think Manly will get the job done here. If there's one team that will take it to them right now, it's Manly. And I think Manly will win. I'm going to go Manly 1-12. I'm going to go Manly 22 points to 16. I think Garrick anytime.
Yeah, that's nice tips. Like you said, I'm very pumped up for this game. The Thursday night games have been bangers so far. I mean, you had Eels versus Storm to open the round. I believe last round was Panthers versus Rabbitohs, and now Seagulls versus Eels. It's going to be another cracking Thursday night game. I'm going to go Seagulls as well. I might go. You know what? I'm going to go Turbo anytime.
Yeah, that's fair.
I reckon I'll go Seagulls 1-12, but yeah, I reckon it'll be a really close game. And I wouldn't write off Eels.
No, definitely not.
Definitely not, because I mean, to be fair, the games they've lost against Storm played really well, and it was in Golden Point, and against Sharks it was only by 4 points.
These performances are more reflective of them probably making grand final appearance, not them. I think if you're going to doubt the Eels, doubt their premiership credentials, not them making top 8. They lost to good sides.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, personally, I think I've changed up my ladder so much, but I think Eels, they'll be competing top 8, and they should be getting top 8 with the squad they have.
I honestly, as much as everyone talks about their hard draw, I wouldn't be surprised if Eels won 3 in a row. That's just the team they are. And then lose another 3 in a row. That's just the team they've come to be known.
Yeah, definitely. So quickly before we move on, Manly are at $1.75, and the Eels are at $2.08 for anyone wondering there. Friday night, Friday evening, Knights versus Dolphins. The Dolphins' first away game in their history. They have a 100% win rate in the NRL as of current. Do you see that changing for us?
I mean, I can't believe it, but I think the Dolphins are almost my certainties of the week, to be honest. I wouldn't rule out Newcastle just yet, but they have so many injuries right now. Like, it's not even fun. If they had their full team, I'd give them a chance for sure, but having no Ponga, no Brayley, and they've suffered a few... I don't know if Adam Elliott's in the team list. Is he there?
No, Adam Elliott, I think he's out.
They could use some experience in that pack right now, for sure. I wouldn't rule out Newcastle, but I just can't get myself to at least give them a chance here. I'm going to go Dolphins. They're on momentum right now. They're riding high. This is a game they should be able to win with the injuries to Newcastle. I'm going to go Dolphins 13+. I'm going to go the scorecard of I'm going to go 32-12. I don't think Newcastle will have much attack in them as well, as we saw on Sunday when they fessed it up. I think Dolphins 32-12. Brenko Lee anytime. And for Newcastle, I reckon Dom Young gets a try. Almost certain he's going to score for most tries this year for Newcastle.
Yeah, definitely. For me, I'm going to be quick and simple here as well. I don't really rate the Knights forward pack, especially with the injuries they have. And like you said, Brayley and Ponga are out as well. So, not too sure if I rate that for the Knights. But I don't know. I'm going to go. Who they have playing? Phoenix Crossland at 9. Yikes. I'm going to go Dolphins for their first ever 13+ win.
Wait, who's that at 9? Crossland?
Yeah, Crossland.
Oh, no.
Dolphins,
I thought about Crossland.
Yeah, Dolphins 13+ for me. For their first ever 13+ win in their career, in their NRL history. And I'm going to go anytime try scorer. For Dolphins, I reckon I'm going to go Hammer again. I reckon he'll score. And for the Knights, like you said, Dom Young, he's pretty much a certainty to look up that top try scorer for Knights.
Right.
Before he heads off to the Roosters and their somehow endless salary cap. Friday night, speaking of the Roosters, they're playing against the Rabbitohs. The best ever. It was not really the best rivalry. I was going to say the best derby, but I mean, we more so call the Queensland stuff the derby. You could call this the Sydney derby, but I think it's just the biggest rivalry in the NRL. But what about you? What's your bet?
I'm going to this game as well. I'm a Broncos fan, but there is no doubt in my mind this is the best sporting rivalry to see in the NRL for sure. I always enjoy it. It's a classic between these two. The Rabbitohs have actually dominated the last few meetings. They knocked out the Roosters as well. A lot of Roosters fans celebrating when they got the revenge in round 25 after the Rabbitohs beat them 28-6 in round 3. They got revenge in the elimination final, and that's going to be stinging on their minds. Look, I honestly could not be confident with anyone. Like, on basis of form, I would go Rabbitohs. But even last year, if you look at it, Rabbitohs were 0-2 and Roosters were looking good. And the Rabbitohs absolutely bashed the Roosters the time they played in round 3. So a lot of people are tipping the Rabbitohs, but Roosters will come good. I think this game, they've got Radley back as well, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not wrong.
Oh, yeah, they do.
I don't know.
And Jared Warrior-Hargreaves as well.
I don't know who to tip, honestly. Like, my mind's saying Rabbitohs, but Roosters will be up for it. And it's also home game advantage. But in saying that, Rabbitohs love to claim, like, Allianz or Trelliance, whatever you call it. I'm going to go the Rabbitohs. I'm not sure who will finish higher. I couldn't tell you that. But I think based on form right now, because the Roosters are natural slow starters, I'm going to go the Rabbitohs by 6. I'm going to go a scoreline of 26-20. I reckon Latroy anytime and Radley on return to score a try.
Nice picks. For me, I'm going to go Rabbitohs as well. I just don't. Roosters start too slowly for me. They did get the win against Warriors last week, but it wasn't convincing at all. I think with the Rabbitohs, they seem to play good at Allianz as well.
Right.
I'm going to go. This is going to be a bit of a big one. I'm going to go Rabbitohs 13+. And sorry for everyone who wants to see a close game for the rivalry. It's going to be Rabbitohs 13+ in my opinion.
As much as a lot of people would like disagree and all that, but Rabbitohs have hit in the 13+ a lot now in recent time. Even last year they were close. They were just like 1 point off 13+, and that's when both teams and Rabbitohs were even shit back now at the start. So I'm not going to call you crazy for it. It's not out of hand. It's happened a lot now.
Yeah, so I'm going to go Rabbitohs 13+. Anytime try scorer for Rabbitohs, I'm going to go. I feel it's almost like cheating picking Alex Johnston, isn't it? But I'll go Alex Johnston. He'll probably get 2 or more. And for Roosters, I'm gonna go Sam Walker to get over again.
Wait, has he scored yet this season?
Alex Johnston. He scored 1 in the last game. Rabbitohs
could see a lot more in the few weeks coming up. But yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But in saying that, you know how you're tipping the Rabbitohs 13+. So are you not confident on the Roosters? Would you be surprised if the Roosters won?
If the Roosters, I wouldn't be surprised if the Roosters won, but for me, for them to win, they need to be playing up to the potential of their squad, and like that's what I expected them to do to start the year. And
you know what gives me like the edge for the Rabbitohs in this match? The Roosters bench. I don't know how Brandon Smith's going to go. He's not an 80-meter hooker. Then let's say if the game's in the balance, then you got Turpin coming on, and he'll be probably against Cook. So, yeah. Yeah,
exactly. I'm not too sure, but I'm going to go Rabbitohs 13+. If the Roosters win this one, though, I won't be too surprised. But definitely looking forward to watching this game. It should be an absolute cracker. This one maybe not so much. Saturday afternoon, Titans versus Storm. What have you got for us, Faraz?
Okay, look. I'm going to tip the Storm. No upset here, but I'm going 1-12. I honestly think if, for the teams like they're playing the Titans and Tigers, those are winnable matches. But if you're a Titans fan right now or a Tigers fan, I'm not sure about the Tigers, but this is the best chance for the Titans to knock off the Storm. With all the injuries they've got, they sort of lost some momentum now. They're hurting. Even if you heard Craig Bellamy, he's like, it's the first time I've experienced this with the Storm. Even last year, he had no answers for what was going on. So I'm not gonna go against Melbourne. I'm gonna go Melbourne, but 1-12 only. I think the Titans can give them a real shake. I think it would be embarrassing and if the Titans lose 13 plus this time around at home. I'm not saying home is a fortress, but with the squad Melbourne have right now with no Munster's not playing this week, right?
Yeah.
They look such a different team. And I do think Titans can be a much more improved team in 2022, but from what I saw last week, they still can let leads go. They didn't check anything, but I've got Melbourne here, 1-12. I'll go a high scoring game, 28-20. Titans can score points, but they can leak a lot of points. So I'll go Melbourne 28-20. I am going to go Hughes anytime and Philip Sami for a double.
Yeah. So you got Storm 1-12.
Yeah.
Now, hear me out. Titans 13 plus. I'm just saying. I know people can call me crazy all they want. I think Titans, they lost that last game against the Dragons and they didn't look good. But they're back at Seabus. They usually play a bit better at Seabus against a Storm team who has is it Tyron Wishart?
Tyron Wishart.
He's at 6, and they've got Jonah Pezzett debuting off the bench. They're very under strength at the moment. Nelson's just gone for 8 weeks now due to MCL tear.
Can I just hold you up for just 1 second? It's sort of going to relate to your point as well. I hope I don't drag myself here, but if you look at the Storm and Bulldogs team lineup with that Ryan Pavitt has it last year, I'm not saying the Bulldogs team is better, but if you look at the team list from last week, there's a lot of similar positions. You've got Burden and Wisher at 6. Obviously, Burden's going to win that. Then you got the fullbacks. You got Nick Meaney and Hayes Perrin. They're still sort of the same. Nick Meaney is probably edges him out because of experience, but Hayes ain't that far away. The center pairings, no Alan Avarilla over. I don't know who it was there at center, but the teams are sort of like to like. Then at 7, the Storm have Hughes, and then Bulldogs have Flanagan. Obviously, that doesn't battle up, but the forward pack is pretty even. If you take out Storm's experience with Taxums coming back, you look at that team last week. Yeah, you got Viliami Kikau, you've got all these players, Roman Fatala, King off the bench. So Storm's team is still probably better, but it's not that better as we think it is on paper. So
Storm are missing a lot of forwards at the moment.
That's what I'm saying. And that relates to my point. That's what I'm saying. This is the best time to catch them out now, because when you're missing 11 out of 30 players from your top squad, no matter how good you are, you're always going to get caught up at some point. So look, I wouldn't be surprised if people called you crazy, but no one even gave the Dogs a chance last week at Melbourne. I certainly didn't. And look what happened last week. And the Bulldogs, mind you, though, the only team to get smashed 13 plus. They had nothing going for them. So Titans still with 13 plus, and Titans have had some great games against Melbourne recently. So I'm not going to call you crazy for that. There's that
It was only, I think it was last. I'm not sure if it was at Amy Park or if it was at Seabus, but I think it may have been Jaden Campbell's debut or one of his first 5 games. He came up against the Storm and he had a cracker of a game. Titans only lost by 4 in the end. They nearly scored.
I think it was the one that they nearly scored on last play, and then Sami passed that out the back and just went out on the full. I think that's the one you're talking about. Yeah. So, but
they could have won it. And they had Munster that game, Storm.
Yeah. So, look, I don't think you should be called crazy. We've seen some crazy results already. The Bulldogs 13 plus. And Bulldogs were missing a few players, even though Storm players were more effective. Right now, that's the team they've got. I don't think it's crazy at all to sit Titans 13 plus. I don't think it will happen. I think Titans can win, but not 13 plus. But they have a lot of points in them, don't they?
I'm just going to go Titans by 14. I don't think it'll be a big.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I think it'll just. But yeah, so Titans by 14 for me. Anytime try scorer for Titans. Jojo Fafita's out this week.
He is.
He may pick up an injury. So I'm going to go with.
He got dropped for, I think. Yeah.
Well, he wasn't even in the extended squad. not even in the reserves. So, but I'm going to go Cam Pereira to score a try for the Titans, and for the Storm, I'm going to go Katoa. He's been good in the second row so far for Storm since signing. Now Saturday evening, Cowboys versus Warriors. Who you got for us?
I'm going to go the Cowboys, but this will be a closer game. This could go to Golden Point if the Warriors turn up, but looking at how the Warriors play, they missed a few forwards, Jackson Ford in the middle and all that, and against the Roosters side in Sydney, who I thought would probably outmatch them. I think the Warriors gave it a good crack, and if not for them making silly errors, they probably could have won that game as well. They were always in that hunt, no matter how poorly they played. So look, the Cowboys are without Scott Drinkwater as well. That's a huge loss for them. But the reason why I'm edging the Cowboys is because it's being at Townsville. I think they'll find a way to win in the end. But geez, this is going to be a close game. I can feel it in my bones. This will be a good game.
Yeah.
I'll go Cowboys. I'll go 22 points to 12, and I'll go Tom Dearden for a try anytime.
Yeah, that's good. Now for me, I think I looked at tipping Warriors. I'm going to go Cowboys just at home, 1-12. I think Cowboys, they didn't look too bad last week versus Broncos. But I mean, they don't look the same as last year.
No, I don't know if they're a top four side, but I think you can't panic about them. Mind you, they were playing like red hot spirited Broncos to beat the Panthers, and when you beat the Panthers in round one, the momentum's riding high. Yeah,
definitely. So I'm going to go Cowboys. I'm going to go 1-12. I think it could be close. Yeah. 4:30 game, so it's still going to be pretty humid in North Queensland.
Yeah, that works for the Cows favor.
Yeah, and I'm going to go Tom Dearden anytime for Cowboys. And you know what? For Warriors on debut, I'm going to go Tane. I'm going to try and not butcher his name. Tane Tuapiki for a try for the Warriors fullback come in for Charles Bookstad. So on debut, let's see what he does. Let's see how good he is. He has high raps on him, this kid.
Oh, and also I think for the Warriors, I'll go Wade Egan for another try.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Wade Egan. I don't blame you for doing that. Wade Egan, I reckon he could get over as well.
One of the most
Saturday night
in that game.
Yeah, for sure. Broncos versus Dragons.
Yeah.
Oh, now, pretty much any Broncos or Dragons fan, pretty much any fan of rugby league knows that Broncos have never beaten the Dragons when Ben Hunt's been playing for them, and Ben Hunt's never lost to the Broncos. So, yeah, goodness. What's your tip for this for us?
I'm going to go to the Broncos, and I think if we do turn up and not go complacent, we can win 13+. But I think because of Hunt purely, and it'll be up for some revenge. Like the stat is intimidating, and records are meant to be broken. I think the Broncos will win, but the Dragons, they do have momentum, and momentum in any sport is a big thing. And the Broncos are under pressure themselves to win this because, like, what was the point of the first weeks if you can't win games you're expected to win? And that's been the problem with the Broncos. So, look, I think the Dragons will show up. I don't think they'll win. I think Broncos in the end will win like by a fair margin and be convincible. But I think the Dragons will give them a shaky start, and then Reynolds will have some masterclass in his sleeves in the second half. I'm going to go the Broncos 26-14. For the Broncos, I'm going to go thank you, Mama, Ezra Man, for a double. He's been freakish for the Broncos. I'm going to go Reece Walsh as well for another try for the Broncos. I'm just loving that pairing already, bro. It's only been one game. And for the Dragons, I'm going to go, you know what? Let's go Lomax for a double.
That's fair. Now, I've been saying all week Broncos 1-12. I'm actually going to change my tip. Not who I'm tipping. I'm going to stay with Broncos. I'm going to go Broncos 13+. And the reason for that is not because I'm confident we can win 13+. It's actually the opposite. It's because I'm not confident, and I feel like we get complacent. Like the last few times we played Dragons, we've probably gotten quite complacent. We have a better squad on paper, and we should be winning them. But I have a feeling this time the Broncos will really look at it and think they've had the wood over us the last few years. We need to we need to really come into this game with fire.
Sorry,
what was that?
Sorry to interrupt you there. And Adam Reynolds specifically said they're looking at this matchup closely because this is the same matchup that they should have won last year. Like they would have made anyways, but they still it was a must-win game, last game of the season, and that embarrassing try they let it for free guys. So they're still hurting from that. So they're obviously looking at the Dragons really closely. And so far, Reynolds has lived up to his word. They're looking much more hungry and determined. So, yeah, we'll see.
Well, yeah, Reynolds said it at the end of last season when the Broncos lost to the Dragons. In a post-match interview, he was saying he was disappointed the Broncos couldn't make finals for the fans, but they'll come back this season more hungrier. They look hungrier so far, and I reckon they'll beat the Dragons 13+. That's my tip for the game. Anytime though, I'm going to go Reece Walsh anytime for Broncos, and for Dragons.
Actually, also can't change my tip. I'm going to go 13+ as well, but I'm going to go 28-14. I'm only going to add 2 more points to it. I think it'll either be a penalty goal or Reynolds probably gets a 2-point field goal. You know what? Let's just go for it. Let's go Reynolds 2-point field goal.
Reynolds 2-point field goal. Love that. So I'm going to go Reece Walsh anytime try scorer. And for Dragons, I'm going to go Ben Hunt anytime, sadly.
He scored in his first game against us, didn't he? When we played
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, fucking hell. Ben Hunt. I hate it. I hate him when we play against him, but I love him every other time. Bulldogs versus Tigers, Sunday afternoon footy. Oh, the Tigers.
Oh, no.
I'm not sure.
Sorry.
For anyone who didn't know, I had Tigers 9th this season. So far, I'm not looking.
I think you had them 10th on the ladder when we did it, or did you change that up?
It might have been 10. It might have been 10th when we did it. I had Eels 9th. That's right. But anyway, I had them contending the 8. So far, that hasn't been the case.
That's fairly generous at the moment.
Yeah. I'll actually start us off this time. I'm going to go. Hear me out.
Go for it, big man.
The doggies are getting complacent. They are hyped up after that game against the Storm, and rightly so. They should be. They're feeling that they should win this game against the current probably the team who's currently tipped to get wooden spoon again. You'd think everyone's thinking that after the games have been played so far. Tigers 13+.
13+.
I think Tigers will get off to a quick start. I reckon halftime it'll be Tigers 24-4 or something like that.
What?
And then I reckon they'll get off to a very quick start, Tigers. I reckon they'll get a very quick start. You don't agree with that?
No. I don't blame you. I think the Tigers can win this game because they've had some funny games, but 13+ in Belmore. Like, I don't blame you for tipping Tigers because, like, that's the thing. Like, in NRL, like, when you're the underdog and all that, like the Bulldogs have shown, they haven't been consistent. And when you're a side like the Tigers and whatnot, those are those games that you're always up for. The Tigers, they don't have a rivalry against the Bulldogs, but they'll be humming to beat them as well. So this is a game the Tigers can easily win. It's still a winnable game, mind you. Like, just the fact that Dan Lowry's out and whatnot, a few injuries. I don't think Tigers winning is out of the equation. Not a lot of people are going to back it after what we saw last week. I'm fairly sorry. But this is a game they can definitely win. I'm not calling you crazy for winning, but 13+. I think that's it. Look, you know who I want to win. You know how much I can't stand the Doggies. I want to see the Tigers pull their pants down. But based on last week, because it's only round 2, the Bulldogs have deserved my tip. They've deserved it rightly so. I hope I'm proven wrong. It will even make my day even better seeing the Broncos win and Bulldogs lose. But I got to give them credit right now. I'm going to go Bulldogs 13+. I think they'll win well. I don't think they're getting complacent. It's more the fans, but let's be real. That's always the Bulldogs fans for you, the home faithful. I'm going to go the Bulldogs 38. I'm going to go the Tigers 12. I just can't see where the Tigers are getting the points from. You know, like, I know me and you have very different tips, surprisingly, Tigers 13+, but you can agree for me what I'm saying, Bulldogs 13+ at the moment. I'm not counting the Tigers out, but I'm getting this worrying feeling at Belmore. To be fair, they've only won one of the last nine games there, but those were like top tier sides like Melbourne and Canberra. So I'm gonna go Bulldogs 13+. Please, Tigers win. Shut them up.
I'm gonna go bold here. I know I said Tigers 13+. You said Bulldogs 13+, and because of that, I think it'll be either team 13+. I think if a team wins, I don't think it will be 1-12.
I think for me,
I think Bulldogs have a flogging or Tigers flogging.
For me, it would either be Bulldogs 13 plus or Tigers 1 or 2. I just think the Bulldogs have more points in them, but Tigers could bring up a spirited defensive game plan. But man, the way they played on Sunday, bro, they could even crack a night side with 2 men out. That's my worry. And because the drama as well with that, how quickly can they turn around? They're probably playing the Bulldogs at a worse time. I know it's only one game, but when you beat Melbourne like that, you've got the ability to do anything, right? And the Bulldogs do have a good record to the Tigers. And they did beat them 36-0 in 2021 when they came last. So, but look, I'm hoping the Tigers can win. But when you say Tigers 13 plus, what's giving you the confidence to even say 13 plus? What's that one thing that's sort of saying they can win 13 plus?
Everyone is writing them off. And rightly so, they deserve to be written off after last week. But it's just, you write teams off, they end up coming back to bite. It comes back to bite you in the ass. I think Tigers. I really like the changes they've made. I mean, I know obviously Isaiah Papali'i's out, Laurie's out, Talau's out, Simpkins out. But for me, that means Abby Coruscant gets to play should play the full 80. Unless Brandon Waken's on the bench, unless he comes on and plays a bit of hooker, but I'm not too sure that will happen. I don't know. I think the Tigers.
Do you think, in a sense, do you think from not from a punting bet, but do you think it's actually good for the Tigers to go under the radar, them not be favourites? Everyone's saying that the Bulldogs are heavy favourites, they're lock of the week. The Tigers are under less pressure now. Wouldn't that make them more dangerous now?
Who, the Tigers?
Yeah, because no one's expecting them to win. Everyone's saying Bulldogs are the lock of the round, should win 13 plus easy. So when the club's going like that, does it make it actually even for them to be even more determined and hungrier and scary because no one's expecting them to do anything?
Yeah, definitely, and that's the reason I tipped them. It's because everyone's writing them off, and I think the Tigers will use that to fuel their hunger and get their first win of the season, in my opinion. But anytime try scorers, I'm going to go with Stafford Toller for the Tigers. I really like him at centre. I reckon he'll do a good job. For the
I'm going to go. I don't think I've said mine as well. I'm going to go. What's the team lineup again? Sorry, I have not checked that one.
I'm not too sure I can read out the whole teams, but
what's the backline? Just go from 1 to 5.
Backline: Staines, Nofaluma, Naden, Toller, Tupou, Dewey, Brooks. That's the 7 for 1 to 7 for Tigers. For the Bulldogs, Perham, Carraz, Avarillo, Alamotti, Adokar, Burton, and Flanagan.
Okay, I'm gonna chuck a few ones here. I'm gonna go Naden for the Tigers. I reckon Tigers will score first as well. That's another one. I reckon for the Bulldogs, Carraz double and Adokar hat trick.
Carraz double and Adokar hat trick.
Yes, you heard me. I love those wing pairings, bro. They're two talented players.
Yeah, for sure. And now the final game. Oh, wait, sorry. I didn't even get to my Bulldogs yet. Sorry, from Bulldogs anytime try scorer, I'm going to go Alamotti. I don't think he scored a try in the NRL. He only debuted round 1. So I'm going to go Alamotti to score a try against the Tigers. And last but not least, Sunday evening, Raiders versus Sharks. Now, I have an interesting stat for this one. I heard it on the Cast Patrol. Shout out to them.
Raiders have not lost to the Sharks till 2018. Is that the one?
8 games. Well, Raiders have won the last 8 games against the Sharks.
Oh, so, yeah.
Yeah. Make of it what you will. Who's your tip there?
So essentially, this stat is telling me that the Raiders are the Sharks' daddies. No, I'm joking, but you know what? I don't know if you're going to tip it. You've already tipped an upset in the Tigers. I'm going to tip an upset here. I'm going to go the Raiders here. I think it'll be a close fought match. These two teams always bring it up against the best. Even last year in round 1, these two teams played. I think it was only 3 points of difference. Moreland kicked the field goal and someone scored in the last minute or something to win it for the Raiders. And the Raiders belted them at Suncorp. I think it will be close. And I think what gives me great confidence is this at Canberra. Mind you, they did play the first 2 games on the road and were convinced. And we're not convincingly beating the first 2. So there are some good odds here. I reckon Raiders by 2. I reckon Britton Okora for the Sharks anytime. And for the Raiders, let's go Jamal Fogarty for a try.
Yeah, for sure. For me, I'm just going to make it nice and quick. I did have Sharks. I'm actually going to change to Raiders 1 to 12 for tonight. sorry, not for tonight, but for Saturday night. I'm going to go any time. I'm just going to quickly check the team list. I don't want to get anything wrong. Harley Smith-Shields to go over for Raiders.
Right.
And for Cronulla, you know what? I'm going to back in a big boy. I'm going to go Braden Hamlin, Uele, or Toby Rudolph. Either one of them, I reckon, will get a try.
Big Toby.
Toby Rudolph. He loves a try, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely loves one. I don't have any news, though, so that probably just about wraps us up.
Just a question from my side. From the team this week, right? Like, from this week, from the games, which team is under most pressure to win, in your opinion?
Most pressure to win.
Yeah.
I think it's sort of between Dogs and Broncos for me.
Ooh,
okay. I think because all the other games should be relatively close. I think everyone's expecting Broncos to beat the Dragons.
Right.
Even despite the fact we haven't beat them since they got Ben Hunt. And everyone's saying, like you said, Bulldogs are a 13-plus lock against the Tigers. So I think those two are under the most pressure to win this week or the most expected.
Just saying, I'm not locking it in, but I just think they'll be too good. But a lot of people are saying that's the guarantee of the week.
Yeah, for sure. I'll quickly check the chat. We don't have any questions. So that'll just about wrap us up. Thank you so much to the
also,
people who joined.
If you want to know my answer is I'll go the Bulldogs. Purely because they expect us to do great things this year, improve. They should realistically beat the Tigers at home as well at Belmore with their form right now.
Oh yes, sorry, I forgot to ask you about that. My bad, mate. I'm just double checking, making sure. Yeah, we don't have anything else. But thank you so much to everyone who joined throughout the podcast session as things are trying to fall over behind me. But we'll try and be back on tomorrow for a match preview of Eels versus Manly if we get the chance to. Follow the Instagram to keep updated on that. I'll let you know if we will be doing that. But thank you so much to everyone who joined. And we'll see you in the next video.
Up the Tigers.